Hey guys, the Explorer of Horror here, the Horror Boy. Welcome back. And today we're getting to a review of All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. This is a 2006 film. Great year for horror, 2006. I mean, I think Rest Stop came out that year. Did Wolf Creek come out that year? Wolf Creek? I think Saw 3 came out that year too. Great year for horror, 2006. I think it was 2006 or 2007 Hatchet came out. I'm not too sure, but I've covered so many 2006 films, it's crazy. Like, that's probably my most covered year for horror. If you don't believe me, look it up. Look up on my channel in 2006. The big ones are like 2006, 2007, and 2009. Those are some of the biggest years that I've covered most movies from. But yeah, this is an 06 film. Gets a 5.5 on IMDb by Jonathan Levine. Now, Jonathan Levine would go on to make a couple other movies after this. I guess he also wrote the screenplay for Warm Bodies, which is a good movie. That's a 2013 kind of zombie, weird horror, zombie romance comedy thing. I thought it was actually a pretty interesting film. But this movie I really enjoyed. This is a really solid horror film. I think, I heard about it from my friend John Grande. He recommends me a lot of great films, and I checked it out, and I must say I really enjoyed this movie. If anything, I think it covers the idea of being a teenager, and what teenagers go through, and how there are these women out there like Mandy Lane who, they're beautiful women who have good souls, but unfortunately there are these, teenage guys who just are horrible and, only have one thing on their mind. And I think it does a good job of covering the idea of being teenagers and high schoolers hanging out. You believe these are characters who are best friends and they all hang out and there are tensions there. You believe in all of that. I think it's done very well in this movie, and I don't think enough horror films tackle that the right way, which is crazy because a lot of horror films focus around teenagers, but they never really get the teen part of it right. It's always just generic teens partying. And they do party in this movie, but there's more to the teens in this movie. That was one thing that I really grasped onto this movie, is that they really made the teens realistic and grounded. They didn't feel like generic stereotypes. They felt like real characters. And the story, there's this party that's going on, this pool party, and as the title says, all the boys love Mandy Lane. Mandy Lane is the hottest chick in school, but she's also a very nice person. She's beautiful on the outside, and she's also beautiful on the inside. She's a great person, but unfortunately, there are these guys who will do anything to get her attention. And one of the guys jumps off the top of this roof into the pool. He's going to do a stunt and go into the pool, but he doesn't get into the pool. He gets right on the edge of the pool and breaks his neck and kills himself. And it's years later. The friends are kind of trying to get together, and they're inviting Mandy Lane along with them. And there was this one guy who, I think he dared the guy to jump into the pool, and he feels kind of bad for it. And him and Mandy Lane are kind of having tensions. They don't like each other very much. But there's this weekend party going on. They're going to go way out to the farmland on this ranch, way out in the middle of nowhere to have this party, and somebody comes out and starts killing people. It's a somewhat slasher film. I say somewhat because really it's a lot of the death scenes are off screen and most of it is with a gun. So it's not just the fact that it's with a gun, but it's just most of the kills are off screen. So I guess technically speaking it is a slasher film, but it's not one of those movies that focuses, completely on the gore and the kills. It's much more about these teenagers, their dialogue, within the hangout scenes, the party scenes, and I just think it's got a awesome cast. I almost said a well done cast. Has some well done acting from an awesome cast. I think this cast of characters is different and unique from other horror films. They're not generic. They're not stereotypes. I like how they're real and grounded characters. I like the cinematography. I think there are some beautiful shots. Again, Jonathan Levine did a great job directing this movie. It's got some wonderful camera work and great shots. The farm atmosphere, the woods, I guess it was shot on location. It looked good. A lot of the day scenes and night sequences. The night scenes are a little bit dark. I will say that there are some dark night sequences. I wish that, it could have been a little bit more brighter, but still, the atmosphere of those scenes are pretty good, and I love the setting of the film on this farm. The special effects that are there's not much to talk about. I mean, most of it is just people being shot by a gun, but the special effects that are there, the practical effects that are in the film, are definitely decent. They're decent. I don't remember there being any CGI. I could say that the movie is just a well done depiction of how teens are and what teens go through, and it's a realistic approach to that. I think also the end of the movie is pretty cool. The twist, I really enjoyed the twist. I really enjoyed the way the movie ended. I heard people hated that ending, but to me it was a really genius way to end the film, which I may or may not get into. I'll let you guys know, but as far as good things go, like I said, it's got a good atmosphere to it. It's got some well done cinematography. The direction is very well done. It's a very well written movie. It's a film that has a lot of effort and passion put into it, and a lot of care. And this is a story that's definitely very original and very well done, and I wish more horror movies would do stuff like this. If I had any nitpicks, I would say that it is a slasher film technically, I guess you could say, but the kills are nothing special. There's not really a standout kill. The killer, which we'll get into in a second, doesn't really have any unique look or unique drive. His main drive is jealousy, and we've seen that done before in so many horror films, slasher films. So the killer didn't have an interesting look, didn't really have an interesting, but it's not really a problem. It's just something that was kind of like, The killer's just there, he's there. The music isn't really bad, but nothing really I thought was too special. I can't really remember any music from the film. It wasn't a terrible score, just wasn't really anything too memorable. I guess the last thing I have with this movie, and this is not really a big issue, that's why I still really enjoy this movie. It's not really any big problems for me, but the last problem I have is probably the pacing. There are points in the movie. This is only an hour and 30 minutes. And there are certain points where it's just the teens hanging out and there's nothing much going on. I guess you could say it's very dialogue heavy. A lot of scenes are in one area and it's just about dialogue. Certain times it works and I really enjoy that. Other times the pacing does get a little draggish, does get a little bit sluggish. Again, nothing horrible. It's not like it's a terrible problem. It's just something that I kind of noticed, and if I'm being honest, it's a nitpick. All these problems are just nitpicks. They're nothing really too big. This is a really solid horror film that I would definitely give a solid 7 out of 10. It's a really well done film. I really enjoyed it, and I think more horror films need to take notes from this movie and try to, learn from this movie. This movie has a lot of things right, and I think it's a really well done film. Now, I'm going to be ending the review here for the non-spoiler part. To get into the spoilers, so spoiler alert, spoiler starting now. If you haven't seen this movie, go watch it and come back to the review. To get into the spoilers, I really enjoyed the ending, where Mandy Lane, this girl who I thought the actress did a great job portraying her as this innocent, loving person. So when she becomes the villain, when she becomes, the heel of the movie, I thought it was genius. It was shocking. It was just crazy out of nowhere. It was so crazy I just spit right there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but I was so crazy I actually spit talking about it. But it's a great twist. I thought it was a genius twist that worked and it was done well. I liked the idea of her actually being in love with this killer. And, you think that, it's this jealous killer. And then really he's working with her. And they're going to kill these people to get revenge, or not really revenge, but just kill these people, and then they're going to go off and be together. So, the twist I liked. Her and she turns on this villain, tries to kill him, the movie ends. I think the ending's pretty cool. The twist is well done. I really enjoyed the twist. It was out of nowhere. I just really enjoyed this movie. This is a great film. I think it's shot well, it's well made, it's well written, and overall, a 7 out of 10 for me. But anyways, guys, if you have seen All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on this movie. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Have a good night. Explorer 4 is out. Peace, guys.